You know, we'll find somebody else. You're just not our kind of people. Like, I mean, I still get it here. I'll go to the beach and they're like, where are you from? And I'll say Toronto. And they're like, no, really, where? It's like, Toronto. Like, but what language are you speaking? Well, hello, how are you? What's your name? What's my name? You know, ask me my name. Let's get to know each other.
My name is Trelly, and I am originally from the Philippines.
My name's Heather Carmen Martin. I was born in Mexico.
My name's Karina Orlana, and I was born in El Salvador.
My name is Rosalino, spelled Rosaline, and O as in OH.
I remember my brother being picked on, and I had to stand up with him. My brother at this time was 6 feet tall, 200 and something pounds, and I was all of 40 pounds, it seemed. And the guy was calling him a spick, an immigrant, this and that, an FOB. And I thought that was racism. That was discrimination. What is my definition of racism? Very good question. I would say fear of the unknown or fear of the new.
Maybe there are more darker colored people. Maybe there are lighter people, but I didn't really care.
Talking about immigration, I guess the racism based on the color of your skin, and which obviously I didn't experience in Canada. But in Canada, you discover that there's racism here, and it's often a more hidden form, the racism on the streets, the First Nations people, who are as important as the French and the English.
Failing to recognize the beauty that is not necessarily defined by their accent, their appearance, or even their culture, but the uniqueness of an individual, failing to recognize that just the inability, not even the slurs or the actions or your facial expressions, but your inability that is racism to me.
That whenever they say something, I should have said, okay, no. If it is not okay, it's not okay for me. If it is okay, I agree. If it is my fault, I say sorry to them. But I won't never ever hear any sorry from these other people.
Well, yes, it makes me resentful. It makes me question myself, doubt myself. It makes me question people's intentions, people's idea of whether or not I'm filling their quota. The brown person, I'm not going to fill a quota for you.
Being a stranger into the country, I am in many aspects because I'm strange, I'm different. It's like I'm not classified in the same category because there is a certain line that's being drawn. It's like there's a bubble that I can't burst sometimes, and it takes longer to burst. When you're making a relationship, everybody starts at the bottom step of the stairs, but sometimes it feels like I am 5 steps away from the bottom while everybody is ready to take the first step.
In a different language, you feel differently. You have different emotions, and you have different thoughts. So having the privilege of speaking a variety of languages it's very life-enhancing. Me siento más libre cuando hablo en español.
I picked up the English really quickly, and then I picked up the French really quickly. So I noticed I think about 6, 7 years I would get on the school bus, not on the school bus, on the public bus, and they would, bus drivers would always comment on how smart I was to be able to speak English. And I thought, isn't that interesting? They assume because I don't speak the language, my level of intelligence must be low.
The way I express my English, sometimes it's not good enough to them. And that's when they say something. But you know what? Doesn't bother me.
I don't belong there and I don't belong here. And so trying to find your place is hard, especially when you're constantly told that you don't belong.
Still discrimination from me to them. Well, I do remember when my daughter was born, I found it was a shock that she didn't have blonde hair. I really did expect that my daughter would look like me, and it was rather a shock that she looked like her father.
Because I consider myself culturally Canadian. I'm not denying my heritage or who I am, but culturally, I am Canadian. In an awkward spot where you're no longer Canadian, you're no longer Korean. When in the Canadian society, I mean, you're obviously identified as being non-Caucasian, an immigrant, kind of a stranger. It can seem at times if I am less sexually attractive than other maybe blonde girls who are taller, who are more curvy and tall. I am short, I am petite. I am no longer being recognized as Rosalind, but I am the Asian girl. I am the short Asian girl. I am the one with the black hair, I'm the one with the black eyes, and those are the signature features of me, not the jokes I make, or not the voices, or not the thoughts I have, but that is the experience I have all the time. So, yeah.
What usually helps me overcome it is that these are people I do not want to relate to. These are people I would never break bread with, or if I have broken bread with, I will never again break bread with. It's a big thing with me, is somebody has done something like that, I would never break bread. It's something very, food, I love food, and it's the most sacred thing to me. So that's how I deal with it.
I didn't really care. I like everyone. I know that some people doesn't like me much because maybe I don't know. But life is just like that, you know. Sometimes you are comfortable with somebody, sometimes not. But for me, I am friendly to anybody, whatever color they have, wherever they come from. I don't keep any hard feeling in my heart.
Olha que coisa mais linda, mais cheia de graça, é essa menina que vem e que passa no doce balanço caminho do mar. Moça do corpo dourado do sol de Ipanema, o seu balançado é mais que um poema, é a coisa mais linda que eu já vi passar. Ah, porque estou tão sozinha. Ah, porque tudo é tão triste. Ah, a beleza que existe. A beleza que não é só minha, que também passa sozinha. Ah, se ela soubesse que quando ela passa, o mundo inteirinho se enche de graça e fica mais lindo por causa do amor. Por causa do amor. Por causa do amor.